All right. So, what happens when you take one of Marvel's most prominent heroes and he loses his mind and becomes a villain? You get Donald Trump. Novocaine, say the thing.
Class is now in session.
Yo, welcome back to a brand new episode of Society and Pop Culture 101. I am instructor BK Spades.
I'm instructor Novacaine.
So, in today's episode, we're going to be taking Donald Trump, Elon Musk, and all the executive orders that's been happening, and we're going to compare them to Reed Richards, aka the Maker, which is the Ultimate Universe version of Reed Richards. So, I guess I'll kick it off.
Yeah, please do.
Let's kick it off with the Maker. Everybody know Reed Richards, right?
Because you tripping me out with the Elon Musk part. Honestly, I forgot that we had to talk about him too.
Well, I figured he'll probably come up in conversation as we go. I mean, it's almost inevitable. You can't talk about the
It's
president without talking about the president. You know what I'm
oh,
saying? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Did we even hold on? So yeah, we did. The last episode, we definitely did talk about the whole hand gesture thing that happened, right?
yes,
Yeah.
yes. We
Yeah.
talked. We briefly touched on it. We did.
That the gaslighting on that has been amazing these past few weeks. But I digress. Before we jump into that and get all off the subject, let's talk about Mr. Fantastic for a minute. Um, his real name, like I said, is Reed Richards. He's a
Yes.
scientist and adventurer. I also want you guys to know that your boy bought a book to study these characters. Boom, the Marvel Encyclopedia. That was random. Plug for that. I'm not sponsored by Marvel. Marvel sponsor us.
Please, please.
Um, and he was first came about in Fantastic Four #1,
Hmm.
which Mr. Fantastic got a family. Sue, which is the Invisible Girl. You got Johnny. You got Ben Grimm, which is his homeboy. Eventually, they had two kids, Franklin and Valeria. Uh, the Silver Surfer is there. Galactus shows up. So
Everyone's there.
yeah, everyone's there. So basically, what happens is, so how does Ultimate Universe Reed Richards go crazy? How does he lose his mind? So eventually, what happens is Reed neglects his family to a point where the Ultimate Universe Sue Storm is like, "I don't want to be with you no more," and she leaves him. He spirals. Some stuff happened in the universe, an incursion happens. The Ultimate Universe is colliding with the main universe, with the 616, and well, it all gets destroyed eventually.
I was not ready for that introduction of Reed Richards. I just was going to be like, yeah, everybody know Fantastic Four. He's the leader, Mr. Fantastic. Boom, smartest guy ever.
So the maker himself, he like I said,
Okay,
he
so the maker is Reed Richards in a different universe.
yes,
So Reed Richards just a little bit of everybody in different universes.
yes. So
Of course he
when
is. He's the
Reed,
smartest guy.
of course. So let's break it down this way. Eventually, he ends up surviving. So now we have two Reeds, and of course, you can't have two Reeds walking around. So you have Ultimate Reed. At some point in the shadows on the main universe, the Maker has like this time machine, where he goes back, he does some Marvel Comics bull crap, you know how it goes, and he ends up splitting the universes. So we have the 616 universe and the 6160 universe. So they like almost parallel. But he wanted to make the universe, and I'm getting somewhere. Let me preach it, okay? So then I'm
I'm
kidding.
letting it. I'm letting it happen.
So then he ends up wanting to make the universe in his own image. So because he's in the past of the 6160, what he does is he starts to eliminate certain superheroes. So he takes some powers away. He moves some stuff out the way ever so slightly so they won't be found. Whatever he had to do to pull some strings to make sure the universe does not have the superheroes that all the other universes have that always end up defeating people. Instead of the spider biting Peter, he hijacked the spider and took it away.
I'm through. He really thought he was God. I need
Intro.
you to tell me what part of the maker are you comparing with Donald Trump?
I am comparing the part of the maker that gives him his ego to make his own universe. You
Mm-hmm.
know, like
Mm-hmm.
you, sir, have the biggest ego to think that you can control every aspect of a universe. It's not possible.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
Mm-hmm.
not fair. You are impeding on people's destinies, which is
Yes.
what is happening in our government right now. There
Yes.
are things that was already pre-planned and destined for people to have, and you took that from them
Yes.
within
I
the
will
first few
completely
days.
agree. I would completely agree to that. I like that you made that connection right there, All of that to say.
Listen, the maker's a complicated man, and I
He
didn't want to like
is.
not do him justice.
He is. He has a lot going on, but there's a lot of things you were saying. That's why I was like, ooh, ooh. I was letting you say what you gotta say, but I'm gonna make my sound effects. But
Yeah.
Donald Trump has, how can I say this in the nicest way? He has, how you like get to be picked like at the beginning, like at the top of the class or whatever, or captain of a team or whatever the case may be, and like you said, you try to mold it into what you want it to be,
Yeah.
and that is exactly what Donald Trump is doing. um I'm just so shocked that so much has happened in such a short amount of time.
Yeah, me too, because we've all been taught this whole it takes time to make change. But it seems like if there's no pushback, then you could change whatever you want.
And then it seems like the even when it comes to the pushback, it seems as though that's going to take the time. Like it looks like he could instantly change it, but then like Congress got to do their thing, and then it's like, okay, let's pause it until further notice type thing. Like it's the wildest thing going on right now.
We've been taught so much about checks and balances and checks and balances and checks and balancing, and ain't nobody checking the balance right now.
Nothing, nothing's balancing, and like you said, no one's checking it. What what's happening? Like
I'm what's not happening? I
what is
think
happening? That's all I could keep on thinking about. Like, what is the end goal for all of this? Where are we
so.
leading to? Where are we heading to right now?
So shout out to Roland Martin, because that's one of like the greatest political minds we have. If we're being real,
Oh,
even if
Roland Martin.
yeah,
Okay, yes.
Roland Martin.
Okay.
Um, if y'all haven't seen or listened to any of his show, you should definitely check him out. He's been since his Black History, I shot him out a little bit more. This man was on CNN and all these other shows making money for everybody else, and he eventually just went to YouTube and started doing his own thing, and he's been really successful with the Black Star Network. So if you're not checking that out and supporting him and the way he's been supporting Black enterprise, y'all definitely should be supporting Roland because we need that right now.
Yeah.
Um, so Roland has seemingly been saying that all our civil rights are being erased, which is true. All our
Mm-hmm.
civil rights are being erased. And there's going to be a lot to come with that because let's just be honest here, the civil rights and everything that our ancestors fought for benefited everybody. And in
Yes.
some cases, some of that change benefited other people more so. And I think people didn't understand that because the marketing for the civil rights was just black people, but that's not what our ancestor was fighting for. They were not fighting for just black people. They were fighting for equal rights for everyone. That also meant the Chinese immigrants, the Japanese immigrants, the
Mm-hmm.
Mexican immigrants, the Dominican immigrants. Everybody is on the chopping block right now. Because once we lose the pillar of the civil rights, so much more stuff is going to start crumbling. It's going to be a snowball.
Yeah.
The way our government is set up like a spider web. Everything builds on everything else.
Mm-hmm.
And if you continue to allow them um to take pedestals out of it, it is going to crumble. And the only people that are going to be able to survive that are the top 1% of Americans. And in some cases, it'll probably impact the world too,
Yeah.
economically.
Yep. I don't know even where to start at because these executive orders have gotten so out of hand. First of all, Donald Trump, take a break. Your wrist probably hurt. Um,
For real.
he has now become the most executive orders signed by any recent president,
That's a crazy stat.
and he has signed more than 40. First of all, he signed more than 40 within 10 days. Most presidents haven't done that in their first 100 days.
Which, if we're being real, is not illegal. I just want to point that out. It's not an illegal thing. It's just
That has been a huge
not normal.
conversation. That has been a huge conversation. And
The
unfortunately, it is legal. Like the way that our constitution is set up, like that's what the president can do.
in the fact that he was able to stack the Supreme Court, any interpretations that anybody else can have about these laws and how things are being ran, they're gonna get shut down. They're
Yeah.
gonna get shut down. And we've
Yeah.
seen it happen. So it's like there's three branches on one accord right now almost,
Yeah.
which is also wild.
Which is, I didn't know that at first until you just said that. That is surprising.
Yeah, and we all I'm gonna be honest with you. Seeing how this is going, I do not ever how we get past this, whenever we get past this, I do not ever want to see all the branches of government on one side.
Oh yeah, I see what you're saying.
No, we
We
need
still
the
need that
balance.
balance.
We need the arguments. We need the Democrats to fight. We need the Republicans to fight their position. Because as I am team break down the government into something better too. I
Hmm.
get that. But there are steps that you don't come in with a hatchet. You don't come
Right.
in with a sledgehammer. Like you need a chisel.
This is
We're
true.
seeing that you need a chisel.
And it's because it's been the way that they built it. I like that what's the word metaphor that you're using. We need a chisel to break it down because it's just so built up to a point where you got to take your time with it
Yeah.
because you don't want to make the same mistakes. And then some of the laws they're it looks like some of them are like copy and paste, but like they changed a couple of words.
Yeah. I think they're always vague on purpose.
There it is.
Because if you give us super specific laws, I guess it'd be harder to cheat the law. I guess. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not a lawmaker. Okay. I just know that I've noticed that every time this administration comes through with a sledgehammer, so many other people get hurt in the long run. What was that first executive order that
Which
he
one?
put out?
The very
Like,
first one?
was it the very first one? Let me go
Or
look at
do
the pages entries.
I was gonna say because I just can't even pick which one makes me the most mad. It was actually surprising that we were able to find some that we can possibly benefit from, but like just skimming through them is just like, what we need this for? What we need this for? This could be
Yeah.
turned into something else, just like the invasion one. Like it's like, okay, we don't want to be invaded, but like, what else you got in there? What else are you saying in there?
Yeah. And the way they got these things going, I don't even think it was like a specific executive order. I think it was the one where he allowed Doge to come in as an entity.
Yes, and that too.
And the
That
way
happened
Doge,
today. Was that today?
that happened earlier on in the, I think that's first day. Um, I think it's the executive
Can't
order
keep
with
up.
Doge. Yeah, it is hard. Okay, here you go. No, it was government and culture. This is from NBC News, right?
Yes, NBC News. By the way,
Um,
I cited everything from NBC News that comes with Donald Trump. I was not going to anywhere else to find information about this man.
I feel you. It's not the one about Doge, although because he just renamed a U.S. service for Doge, so I was wrong on that one. But
Okay.
it's the one about ending radical and wasteful government DEI programs and
Yes.
preferences. So first and foremost, I want to say diversity, equity, and inclusion. Stop saying DEI. I heard someone say this on one of my social medias. I can't remember which one it was, but they were basically saying that every time you allow them to just use the acronym or something, it
You
gives them a
minimize
chance
it.
to you minimize it and you give them a chance to define it because this is where we are. We saw them do that with woke. We saw them do that with DEI. They just make it fit their narrative. But anyway, so the plan is here it is. The description of that is ends all diversity, equity, and inclusion and accessibility programs, policies, and mandates across the federal government, revising union contracts and employment practices to end them as well. It also directs the government to terminate all positions related to DEI. That one thing he said is so vague that it snowballed.
So my question is, because there is a couple of other laws put into place and acts put into place to like protect us when it
Hmm.
comes to equal employment and not any type of discrimination. Correct me if I am wrong, but when it comes to diversity, equality, and inclusion, does that really go against all of the civil rights laws that were put into place? Because when I was skimming through the executive orders, it didn't specifically say those civil rights were taken away.
All right, so I will say no. Personally, I think it shouldn't.
Hmm.
But we see him going back to like 1970 and chopping away certain specific policies, right?
Hmm.
Because again, it's written so vaguely that it can be interpreted in any way. Case in point, whatever the executive order was where about the packages about I think it's the tariffs, the fallout from the tariffs,
Hmm.
right? We got like what 10% tariff on China, and I
Something
think
like
there, I think it.
15 on somebody else, 25 somewhere else.
So the ones with China, the USPS didn't know what they could do. Could they bring the packages over? Could they? Are they not supposed to touch them at all? Like they really didn't know what the policy was on bringing goods over from China. So they were like,
Hmm.
if you had anything from Temu or Shein or whatever, uh, uh, tough titty. I don't know,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. But they
But then they
restarted
had to,
it.
yeah, they had to retract it because I guess it got clarified later. So they retracted that. And that all happened within a span of like 12 hours. And this is what's been happening this whole time. They say something, and then people go into worry mode, then panic mode, and then they back off of it.
And that
Like the
is
Canada tariff and the Mexico tariffs.
and this is why I feel like all of this is just scare tactics.
Oh, it is.
Because if it's just if something happens and then you could clear it up within 12 hours, what is happening? What are we doing here?
Wasting time for their real agenda. So
And that
according
is
to
what I got to figure out.
what was the guy named Steve? Uh it was the guy that was Steve Bannon. According to Steve Bannon on his show, I think it was his podcast he was on, he was talking about what the strategy was within the first term to get things done, and how you get things done is you use a bunch of smoke and mirrors. So their plan was use three things, three ridiculous policies, and then whatever your real one is. Nobody has time to worry about that because they're worried about the other three: banning trans rights in
Mhm.
the military. Um, work. I mean, DEI was probably like one of their biggest, but that was
Mhm.
just like on the side of other three other things that was going on. So your trans rights, your you the China tariffs thing, the Gulf of Mex, where's
Gulf
the
of America now.
the Gulf of
And
Mexico?
that's not even a whole that's a whole thing behind it too. I had to get some clarity about that. It's not technically, it's still professionally known as Gulf of Mexico. But
Yeah,
when they're talking to each other, they made it legal for them to say Gulf of America.
that sounds like when we back in like the 9/11 times when we were like, they're not French fries, they're freedom fries. I didn't call it freedom fries. I'm not calling it the Gulf of America.
They're not colored, they're Negroes.
Get out of here with that. God, get out of here. But yeah, it's just like I said, smoke and mirrors. It's all
Smoke
smoke and
and
mirrors.
mirrors. And this is why I cannot take this country serious, because it's just so much that's just trying to block us from what's really happening. And I'm just like, people get so wrapped up in this nonsense that they forget their humanity. Blah. Let me say that last sentence over. People get so wrapped up in this nonsense that they forget their humanity, and it's sickening. And I'm over it.
So usually when I say, it's all smoke and mirrors, you usually that means you don't have to worry about something.
But this time
But
we do have to keep our eyes
it's
open,
like
though.
because we don't know which one is the serious thing. I mean, you can. It
Mm-hmm.
sounds ridiculous, but he's talking about going to war with so many people. You like, are we?
Mm-hmm.
Are we doing that, or
Mm-hmm.
is he sane or is he insane? What is going on? I don't know.
Why have we withdrawn from the WHO?
Health Organization. World Health Organization. I don't know. It's the same reason the CDC start removing stuff off their website. Like we don't even know. We have a whole chicken
It's
flu
a whole
outbreak.
bird flu. Blurred. It's a whole bird flu going on.
Blur flu don't sound bad. We need more blurs in the world. But yeah, we got a bird flu going on. We constantly, I think recently here there a broccoli um issue with Walmart. It's always
Sick of
Walmart.
it.
I don't know
Oh,
if you guys notice. I don't know if you guys notice, but I'm gonna say it on the show. When Donald Trump started deregulating stuff a few years ago, we were doing good. But the moment he deregulated and let these food companies monitor themselves. It's been a whole lot of outbreaks going on around here in the past couple
Whole
of
bunch
years.
of outbreaks. You see that?
It took a while to get to this point. And see, this is also important, people. You should know this because the way policy works, if it, unlike except for recently here, usually it takes a while before it comes into effect. So it took a whole, what, 2 years
Yeah.
before the USDA deregulation caught up to us. And now we about to do this with the environment.
Buckle up, guys. We're in for a bumpy ride. But
Mm.
just stay calm.
Absolutely. But there have been protests after this
Everywhere.
recent thing. I mean, they were already protesting around the world and stuff about this because everybody's worried about. I heard a dude from Australia worried about us as a whole, like the regular people, not just how, because we affect everybody. By the way, again,
We do.
we kind of affect everybody. Um, but there's been protests here when Elon took over the, was it the U.S. Treasury through a back door?
Yeah, what's up with that? Where are the clearances for this? First of all,
Exactly.
Elon isn't even a US citizen. What is
Exactly.
happening? This is
Right now, the way he be doing,
the way Elon been acting,
what's crazy is the way Elon been acting as if he has power. In some kind of way he does, but he
but he
doesn't.
don't. Like
It's
people,
so
I
weird.
was in the comments because people were talking about how this whole deportation, the ICE, and breaking up the homes, and I'm like, get Elon out of there. They're like, he's a U.S. citizen. No, he is not. Get him out of there.
I mean, my man ain't even supposed to have this much clearance. I mean, do you even have clearances? I don't know. But I know he's not
Does
supposed
he
to be
have
doing some of
clearances?
this. He, hold on, wait a minute.
And we're back.
Allegedly.
And we're
I
back.
don't know. First allegedly of the season. I don't know if he has clearances. I have not looked it up. But the fact that he has business within the Pentagon, which is the only thing that's not been touched, by the way, the Pentagon. The fact that they have business in the Pentagon is crazy. And he got this much power to control the purse right now because the only people that's supposed to be controlling the purse is Congress. Okay, it's the
That
House. It's the
US
House of Representatives. The House of
Oh,
Representatives
that
has the power of the
the
purse.
power of the purse. Okay. I
Yeah,
can't remember who's who. Who does what anymore. All
um,
everything is a jumble in my brain.
it's so much going on. Like
I
I
can't
don't
keep
remember.
up. I literally cannot keep up. Trying to think about the way that we were going to do this episode. I just couldn't keep up.
It is way too many ends on this conversation.
I just I'm just I'm flabbergasted. Most of the time I'm speechless when we're talking about this. This is exciting that we're at least pulling out an episode for it. But I'm just Trump supporters. Are you guys happy? Like I keep on trying to make conversations online. I don't really talk to too many Trump supporters in person because if I do, I'm at work. I can't talk to Trump supporters at work. That's against the law. Well, not the
Yeah,
law, but my job's law.
policy,
Yeah.
policy. It's against the policy.
So, like, Trump supporters, are you guys happy? Like, is this what you wanted? I just don't understand.
You,
You know what trips me out?
what's that?
All of these policies he's putting around immigrants and how many, like, immigrants voted for him.
I wanted to bring that up because I think that has been the most jarring moment for the community. I mean, they're protesting right now.
It's big time protests been going on.
Yes, and what's crazy about that is, and the war on TikTok, the war within TikTok, I should say, was we as the black community was like, you guys don't know what you're asking for. Kamala is your better option here. And then everybody was telling us that we were not correct about that. I just saw a dude TikTok earlier today where he was like, you guys, we need to I guess he's from Mexico. I don't know. He was like, guys, we need to come together as one and fight this thing because if we don't come together and fight it, we're gonna lose out on so
I
much
think I saw
more.
that. I think I saw
And,
that one.
and I'm like, you had that opportunity.
It was a
Like I
different.
said earlier, like I said earlier, we as a black community have been fighting for civil rights and equal opportunities and equal
Forever.
pay and just we don't even want to be better. Again, it's not about being better than everybody else. It's about being equal to everybody else. And we've been in this fight and everybody thinks the fight is over. No, we are still in this fight. We've been here because every time someone else come up, it's like, on Mortal Kombat where you jump into like the tournament, like the old school games, and you start a fight and then you get so far and you're doing great and you beat everybody in the tree, but then you realize, oh, it's another tree right after that tree, so I gotta fight more people. Or is that like Mortal Kombat 3 or something? This is what we are. We beat a tree, we beat the tree. We're like, we done it, y'all. We won civil rights,
And then we gotta fight the boss of the boss.
right? And then not only is he coming for everything we just built, but he's also fighting the next step that we was gonna make. So it's like we're tired. I'm tired.
I'm tired.
Like I didn't even I've been ranting this episode because I am personally tired.
I'm tired. I'm tired. I think I said that to you like 2 days ago. Brody, I am tired.
Like we've been getting rope doped in here. Like the government right now is Ali and we are on the ropes. We're like, oh.
American citizens. Steadfast. Like
Oh
like
yeah. We're tired, but
we
the
are
fight's
tired.
not over.
It's just begun, BK.
But I will say this for everybody that's waiting on us to be like,
For
when are
us
you
to
gonna
save the day.
really jump in?
It's not
Don't,
happening this time. Don't
don't,
wait on
don't.
us.
No, because the people, like, because I've seen the people that, for the most part, that have been on the front lines of this. They're like, don't call me.
Y'all are barely getting TikTok dances at this point. So like
Right. So I'm gonna let you in on a secret though. It's not that we're not going to fight. Is we're not gonna throw the first blow.
there it is. That's the
Because we've
fact.
been throwing the first blow this entire time, y'all.
That's a fact. That's a fact. It's
So
not happening.
surprise us. Surprise us.
Please.
And I'm not saying that like I'm some kind of big wig in the fight, because I am absolutely not. I'm just saying I've listened to the collective argument of why we're not fighting, and I just agree with them. That's it. Shout out to Target. How's that going?
Speaking of DEI, okay. There is one last thing I do want to button up about everything we're upset about and things like that. So DEI, back to talk about DEI really quickly. I have decided to stand with a lot of my brothers and sisters, American brothers and sisters, to not support these companies that include McDonald's, Target, Walmart. This one broke my heart. Amazon.
Oh,
Amazon. What are you doing? What are you doing?
is it Amazon? Because hasn't Jeff Bezos not owned Amazon? He don't own Amazon, right?
I think he sold it, but no, he didn't sell it, did he? You got me about to Google it. Hold on, wait.
Didn't no, his wife took a chunk of it.
I know, yeah, I knew that his ex-wife took a chunk of it. Yes. He's the
Hmm.
executive chairman.
Oh, so he Vince McMahon that thing.
Yeah. And he's the largest individual shareholder of Amazon. I think his
Oh,
wife is right under him though. I don't know that part. Yeah, but he's the largest shareholder. So yeah.
okay.
And
So
like
the largest shareholder.
And like you say, he's the Vince McMahon it.
But yeah, I'm sorry I cut you off. What were you going to say about that? You're standing with the brethren and sisterin.
I'm standing with the brethren on this one. I will. I really, really want to give up the Meta, because Meta also got rid of theirs.
Yeah,
So that includes your Facebook, your IG, and your WhatsApp. But we do a lot
threads.
of promotion and a lot of things with this show on Facebook and IG. So I haven't
Yeah.
quite gotten rid of those, but I have limited my time that I am spending on these sites. But Amazon, Walmart, Target, McDonald's, Starbucks was another one. And it's another one. It was another company. I'm missing somebody else.
So
I'm not
can
spending
I?
my money with you guys. Sorry.
I commend you for that, but I am going to. All right. So this is my thing about big corporations because we talked about this on the last season. What was it like the second or third episode? It's the Duckman episode.
Okay.
Um, Corporations are going to corporate. All right, they're going to do whatever it is to make their money.
Yeah.
If that means jumping on the back of a social movement, that's just what they're going to do. They're going to use whatever they can to get up. That being said, is it wrong that they basically went back on their word? Absolutely. But I want us as a community, as a people, to stop trusting corporations. I see we did the buy-in for Costco's. Big up the Costco's for keeping up with their DEI program.
Shout out to
Whatever they rename it. I absolutely shout out. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, there are shareholders and there are multiple people running it. But you know what company we should support the companies that we know are 10 toes down.
yeah.
So if I am going to support any company at all, it's Ben and Jerry's.
Okay.
Not only were they 10 toes down with Kaepernick, but
Yeah.
they've been 10 toes down on social media this entire time.
Yeah.
They've been about marginalized communities the entire time. I mess with Ben and Jerry's, okay?
I like that. I have
And
more of the ice cream.
instead of me being angry at all these corporations, I'm just gonna go ahead and give you the alternatives right now. And just know that most social medias, you're gonna have to move on eventually from them. So my level with TikTok is on a whole nother. I don't know how long I'm gonna be there. But rather than me being angry about it, I'm just gonna throw this here. Blue Sky is more of a open, non-political siding platform.
Yeah.
But although a lot of us lean left, I'm just gonna go ahead and put that out there. So Blue Sky. But if I'm gonna promote any
Left.
social media, any social media fan base, go get on
Uh,
fan base.
you know what? Now that I think about it, fan base, you tried to put me on that joint some years ago.
Yes, because I understand that it's gonna be a bit not perfect, okay? Because every social media is janky at the beginning. That's just the nature of the business.
And
But the
is
more but the more we get on and the more data they are able to collect and see how you use it and what you use it for, it will make the platform better. Go to fan base. You ain't got to log on every day, all day, but make a post or two. Do a couple of posts a week. I don't want you on social media all week anyway. But yeah, go over there and follow us at Society and Pop Culture 101. Do all the things and
thank
fan base. And why I'm thinking about fan base, why BU Social is also another one that you should probably get into. Go over there, follow us on there as well. Have some fun. It's a little different. It's a little different, and I am not an expert over there. Neither am I on fan base, but fan base. Isaac Hayes the third. Y'all know Isaac Hayes, right? Who is the man? That's his son. Go follow it. Go follow the social media. and you can buy into it. You can own equity
Okay.
in fan base.
Okay.
Do that.
Now we're cooking with some hot grease.
Yeah, I will. I'm not getting paid by fan base. I just want y'all to know that again.
But
But
if
fan base,
sponsor, y'all looking to sponsor somebody, you know what I'm saying.
we over here.
You know what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying? You feel me? But yeah, did you want to get into some of these policies that we like from Trump?
Yes.
Some
Yes.
you
Now
got it.
there are a couple of policies, executive orders that he did sign off on that we were like, you know what? There has to be some type of good in the bad. Now, when BK and I were looking for them though,
It was hard. This is our say something nice moment.
this is our say something nice moment. BK, I actually found something that I wanted to add that we didn't go over at first. Restoring freedom of speech and ending federal censorship. Bans government censorship of Americans and calls for an investigation into whether the Biden administration pushed to censor Americans. The order implies an investigation into potential conversations with social media companies and other third parties. In 2024, the Supreme Court threw out a claim that the Biden administration unlawfully coerced social media companies to remove contentious content. That is actually a really, really good one. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know how I just found that one. That actually might be my favorite one.
Oh, word? Oh, that's some hot. Are we
Censorship
saying
censorship this is also really funny because censorship started coming around during Trump's first term. So I like how he's like, oh, it happened during Biden. No, sir, it happened during your term. There was
yeah,
a law. What is the law? Net neutrality. During the net neutrality, which was during Trump's first term, that's when a lot of things started being censored. There
yeah.
was a point in time where people couldn't even say certain words. They were like trigger words that you get blocked to post or whatever. So
Mhm.
this is actually one of my favorite ones because it allows people to say what they want to say and what they
Yeah.
need to say without having like basically saying no because that does go against our First Amendment right. So that might be my favorite one.
Yeah. Do you know how annoying it is when you go on TikTok and people be like schmecks,
What is that?
uh,
Oh,
intercourse?
oh, okay, yeah.
It's
I'm not a
I'm
fan
like
of it. See,
I'm
you see
like
how I was like, what
w-
is that?
like we grown people. What?
We are grown. We're super grown at this point. Two more that I saw. We're going to go the Iron Dome. Well, this is one that you like, BK. I would
Yeah.
to, you know.
Okay. So you want to read it?
Oh, yeah, I can read it right quick. Calls for an Iron Dome for America, although the order calls for a creation of a missile defense system that differs from Israel's Iron Dome, which is a short range missile defense system. This order gives the defense secretary 60 days to submit a plan for a next generation missile defense shield, calling for the shield to include capabilities in space to detect, track, and intercept missiles and stop a missile before it is launched. Okay, now that I've read it fully, it makes sense.
Yeah. Do we not already have that though?
I thought we did have it.
Yeah. That's my only thing. I mean,
I thought we
it's
did have that. Now that you're saying something, I thought they had put that in place Obama's second term. I thought we been had that, but hey,
yeah, yeah.
maybe expired or something.
I don't know. So what I noticed with the tariff thing with Canada, uh, President Trump was like, "Oh, we're not gonna we're gonna hold off on the deal," and they agreed to do so many soldiers on the border and tackle the fentanyl crisis and
But
that type of things. And he was like, "We're glad to make this deal when the deal was already in place."
so he's trying to take credit of things that were already done, and
Hold on. He taking credit from himself. That's the deal that he struck in the first term.
oh, he's just like I revisited this just to make sure I still
No, no, he was like, this is a new deal. Like he got a dub here.
no.
When in his first term, he hated the deal. But
Yeah,
now it's a beautiful deal, sir. My guy, come
my
on,
guy.
come
By
on. So
Donald.
this, if this Iron Dome is already here, unless they're talking about expanding it, then
Okay.
but I do like
Say
having the Iron Dome for the people.
it did say, all the way it could track and detect it all the way in space.
Oh, that is like a job for the Space Force.
Sounds like a job for Space Force. Something went down with Space Force, but I just couldn't wrap my head around it. So much has happened. I just cannot wrap my head around everything. I'm just over it.
Did they
Um,
expand it?
no, it was something that went down. Something went down with the security or defense or something.
Mm,
Something went down. Something went down. I
all
can't.
right,
I can't remember. I should have.
it's fine. It's fine. Let's
I
move
didn't.
on.
I didn't think about that when I was thinking about doing this show. Just enough. just,
Uh,
just so you
uh,
know.
do we have any more say something nice moments here?
One more say something nice moment, and this is actually a very interesting one. Declassification of records concerning the assassinations of President John F. Kennedy, Senator Robert F. Kennedy, and the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
That's my
Calls,
favorite one.
right, right, calls for the release of all records related to the assassination of former President John F. Kennedy, former Senator Robert F. Kennedy, and Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., instructing officials to review the records and present plans for the release. So I'm interested to see what's going to come out with that. During his last term, Trump's last term, I remember when all of those Pentagon secrets were declassified. That was the big thing
Yeah,
of the time. So I'm really excited to see what is going to come out of this. There have
me
been
too.
so many different conspiracies surrounding the deaths of these guys, of the assassinations, I should say, of these men. And I'm just really interested to see what the U.S. government is going to say.
Yeah, I mean, I already know what's up with the MLK for the most part. Like, I don't need any new information on that. There's nothing going to change my mind about that. But I'm interested. As Kennedy is my favorite president. That's a shocker. I have a favorite president. It's Kennedy. I'm interested to see the aftermath and what they knew leading up to that moment.
Yes, very
Because
interesting.
we're talking about our country. We have data on top of data, even before data gathering was like such a big thing for us.
Watch they drop that information after something insane drops. Something insane is going to happen, and then that very within the next 24 hours, that's going to drop. Watch what I tell you.
I think it did it already drop though.
No, they said that they are gathering and getting it ready. Hold on, wait. Let me see.
Okay.
Hold on, wait. Oh, hold on, wait. Wait, show that- No,
Um.
not yet.
Okay. All right. I hope not. I hope it's just a normal day. I hope it's just a normal, irregular sunny
We're
Tuesday.
we're not living any more normal days. Sorry. They're all lit. Sorry.
In some direction, yeah. Um, going back to that social media thing, I'm gonna need Elon Musk. I'm off of X. Like we're off of X. But I do
Personal
see.
page is still there, but I do not use it at all. The app is
Oh
not
no,
on my phone.
I left immediately. I've been seeing him censor a lot of people, especially when it came down to the people that find out the names of that team that he has that made that hack using personal
See what I'm
uh
saying?
drives and internet. I mean personal flash drives and personal emails to hack into the treasury, backdoor the treasury. They kind of released the names, and then he was like, "That's a crime," and then he like deleted the post. So yeah, that's not free speech. It's not free speech. It's not what free speech looks like. Get it together. Get some real free speech going on.
BK, do you
Hmm?
think do you think he's gonna be impeached? I
Oh
mean,
yeah, this is the last topic, right?
this is the last part. I mean, he might get impeached, but
Let's
so
just be real. So he might get impeached again, but he's not going to be thrown out of office. I don't think.
no, that's
He's
happening.
The thing about President Trump is he's malleable in their minds. He's malleable. We've seen otherwise, but politicians go politics. We can control them. We can control this chaos. Obviously, you cannot. We didn't even talk about his cabinet picks, so we're not.
That's an
No,
episode for itself.
that's the episode by itself.
That's the
So
episode. And something else happened today, by the way.
yeah,
I think two other
Democrats
things
is
happened today.
the Democrats are finally starting to fight, and I think they end up getting. And I'm not saying this is because of the Democrats, but they end up postponing some of. I think it's RFK Jr. They
Mhm.
postponed his confirmation by a week, I think. So that's good.
I like I said, if it happens, so I
The
agree.
impeachment. Yeah,
He's not gonna get removed from office. Honestly, we don't want him to get removed from office because what we want Vance after that.
I have. We'll talk about it later. That's too conspiratorial.
Allegedly.
This show has been brought to you by allegedly.
By allegedly.
The greatest word to tell you that we don't have the definitive answer and we don't want to be sued.
I
Allegedly.
I'm just I'm still just lost for words. But if he gets impeached, oh, and if he does get impeached, he's gonna be the most impeached president.
He's not already the most
He's
impeached.
already is the
Anyway, we got to end this show, man. Um, Thank you guys for listening. We had a blast talking about this very serious subject. Um, I know politics can be hard to get into and to sit through. And if you got through all of that without being judgmental, bigoted, or racist, you're a real one.
shout out to you.
Yeah, you're special. And don't let anybody tell you you're not.
I'm so proud of you. I'm so
You
grateful
did.
to have you.
That's right. You knew what Steve was telling you in Blues Clues, and you used those skills. Congratulations. Anyway, let them know what they got to do for us.
Head on over to YouTube. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. Follow us. Turn on the notification bell so you know when we upload a new episode. Also, head on over to Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Leave us a written review. Leave us 5 stars, because you love us so much. So leave those
Hmm.
5 stars.
Yeah. Also, make sure you follow us on Fanbase. And even if you don't follow us on Fanbase, make sure you download Fanbase. Make Fanbase the #1 app in the App Store because that team works hard over there and you can get equity in their app. Own a piece of Fanbase. Like, what? That's unheard of. That's unprecedented. Anyway, and listen to Roland Martin show because you just should. You just should. Support black media. Anyway, I have been instructor BK Spades.
I am Instructor Novacaine.
Thank you for listening to us. We about. Thank you for listening to Society and Pop Culture 101. Be sure to listen to JB versus the World, the Humble Roses podcast, Marks with Mics, and Get Your Podcast. All podcasts on the Culture Clash Network. This is CCN. Thanks for listening.